We're live.
Oh, yay.
Hey. So I'm Jennie.
And I'm Brittany.
We're gonna just kind of chat here a little bit. We're gonna do raw, real, unedited, because we don't like to edit. I don't like to edit.
It's the boring part.
And sometimes our good stuff is kind of impromptu anyway. But I kind of just thought we would start how we start all of our meetings. So Brittany and I are the co-founders of the Sacred Intuition Society. And we founded this on, I don't know, there's a whole story here and we're going to share it with you. But for this moment's sake, we start all of our meetings tuning in and connecting to our intuition, because that's the whole purpose of the Sacred Intuition Society, is getting in tune with your intuition. So you just get a little sneak peek preview of that. So a little bit of cyber smudging. If you'd like to join us and light some incense or sage or just get all nice and fresh. We're getting settled here in my office. And so, okay, do you want to call us in or do you want me to?
I'll call us in, yeah.
Okay, so join us. We invite you to join us.
Okay. Start by taking a few deep breaths in through your nose and out your mouth with an audible sigh. And opening our crown chakras and imagining bright white light coming in through the crown chakra and down into the mind's eye, the third eye, where we can see visions, where our intuition lies here within our pineal gland. Opening our ears to hear messages, our mouths to speak messages and truths. Down into our throat chakras and then making it into our heart chakras, where we can connect and share with others and ourselves and feel self-love and love for the collective. Moving down into our solar plexus, where we shine bright here and tap into our personal power and our authentic selves. Down into our sacral chakras, where we can feel, knowing that we are divine beings of light that create and feel the goodness and pleasures of the world, that we can use our sensual energy to bring forth that which needs brought forth into this world with our divine power. Down through our legs and our feet, and imagining that bright white light shining all the way down from the soles of our feet back into the earth. So we are a clear channel from crown chakra to our toes, allowing the energy to flow through us, that we may be that energy, and calling in our higher selves, our inner selves, and asking them to stand with us today to help us connect heaven and earth, spiritual and physical, calling in our guides, whoever and whatever that may be. I am imagining a giant red dragon today. Any mystical beings, ancestors, angels, ascended masters. We ask that they be here with us today to guide us on our journey and help us to speak forth the messages that need to be brought from the spirit realm to this physical realm today. And we thank them and thank our higher selves, thank the universe. Thank each other for being here, and the Sacred Intuition Society, most of all, that it is its own entity, and we're excited to share the messages. So it is.
And so it is. The God Sis is what we have lovingly referred to the Sacred Intuition Society entity, the God Sis, SIS. Thank you, Mi. That was beautiful.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't really have an outline for today, but I do want to share this. Let's see. I'm going to take a minute to open up YouTube on my phone and just share what's happening with some places. So you want to talk for a minute while I work on this?
Yeah, let's talk about tune-ins, since that's what I know.
Okay. One of the things we just did.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Today was a short one. We do daily tune-ins where we tune into our intuition, and on those calls, generally people will bring their oracle decks or their tarot decks or whatever form of divination that they connect with to receiving messages from their intuition. And we, as a group, do a check-in of our feelings, because what you track grows and evolves. So we all check in with each other as a community, as sisters, and we chat about, a word or phrase of where we're at for the day. And then we will move on to our intentions. We'll set an intention, because again, what you focus on and track grows. And with that intention, we will tap into the intuition by waking up our intuition with games, and doing some channeling, even in the tune-ins, where we do 20 minutes of journaling, and whatever cards or messages are coming through for us, we sit and, as a group, write for 20 minutes straight, so that everything can come forward and out and see what shows up on the pages. And then we talk about it.
It's a really powerful process. This is one of our personal practices that we've been doing for a long time.
Yeah.
How long have you been pulling cards?
Oh, I've been pulling cards on and off since I was 12. I got my first deck when I was 12.
Wow. Yeah, the cards were the devil for me in my youth. I was raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it was like, you don't even attempt card psychic readings. So when I was going through my personal spiritual journey, awakening, for me, it started with yoga. I had experienced postpartum depression, and with my first baby 21 years ago. Oh my gosh, she's 21. And was, Western medical system failed me. The antidepressants didn't help. The anxiety meds made me feel crazy and gave me or the ADHD meds made me feel crazy and gave me anxiety. And then he gave me anxiety medication, and I was like, I don't think you're really helping me here. And so I went on a search for, okay, God, I don't know how, but I'm willing to allow. There's got to be another way. Because the way that this Western system is set up is not helping me. Therapy, I did all sorts of different things for the depression. And so I found yoga, and yoga literally saved my life. It's one of those cliches, but cliches are a cliche for a reason, because they're true. And in yoga, I learned about the chakra system. And, just looking at my office, you'll see, the chakra glasses, the chakra goddess. It was a system that really helped me understand the connection. From my Mormon upbringing, I really had a pretty good understanding of the spiritual realm. It was obviously a very, systematic,
wrapped in a pretty bow,
packaged. There's certain ways and rules and regulations. That's the club I was in. But I had a really beautiful connection with God and Jesus. my ideas of what I thought they were based on what I was taught. I also was very into the physical body and the physical sciences, and I wanted to understand how my body worked because my body fascinated me. I was just blown away that it could do all of these cool things, and I wanted to explore more. And so I learned, personal training, anatomy, kinesiology, nutrition, just really trying to figure out how to make this body better. But
was that when you were still in the church?
Yes.
The church.
Yeah. So I had the physical, and I had the I did a lot of mental, psychological, and I had the spiritual, but I didn't know how to bring them together. It was like the church taught the spiritual and almost deny the body, right? Deny the natural man. The natural man is the sinner. And we're trying to just, move beyond the natural man. And so it was like almost deny this physical body, but also we need to take care of it because it is our temple. So be a good steward of your body. So I just really was trying to figure out all of those pieces. And then the mental part, this psychology and philosophy just fascinated me. And it was like, what? And I just had all of these thoughts and questions, and no one could answer them for me. And so when I started to learn about yoga and the chakra system, I was like, this is a system that brings it all together. Mm-hmm. The chakras combine the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual in one system. And it just kind of blew me away. And I was following some woman on Instagram, and she had this card deck. Actually, I wonder if it's right here. That was just it just spoke to me. I was like, this is so beautiful. And no, I don't have it here. Dang.
Who was it?
I have some of them over there, but they're just little affirmation cards. Let me grab them so you could see, because they're super cute, and it's not like too far away from me.
Yeah.
It was innocent. It was so innocent, but as the saying goes, with the devil, it's a slippery slope. So here was the back, and this woman I followed, she's the artist, so she made these, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. And then they were just these positive affirmation cards. I am vibrant. I am water. I am fire. I am root. I am crown. I'm confident. I am playful. And I just thought, oh, it's innocent. It's innocent, right? It's so innocent. And now I have a basket full of 30 different card decks. And most of them were oracle. It took me a hot minute really to get into tarot because of the fear of the devil. And like, oh, it's a slippery slope. And I got my first tarot deck, and it was the Osho Zen deck.
That was my first deck.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even joking. The Osho Zen. Yes. I didn't even know that about you.
So beautiful. The colors. It was so vibrant. None of the other tarot decks called to me, but this one really did. And I remember my very first spread that I did that was based off of that Osho Zen, and it was you sit in a circle and you pull the cards all the way around you in a circle. And I was like, this is some witchy shit. Like, like, am I gonna invoke the devil? But the intention and the words and the questions were so beautiful and spiritual and like just self-introflective that I was like, how can this be bad? How could this be bad? And the wisdom that I gleaned from it, the personal insights and ahas and stuff that I gleaned from it was just like, there's no fucking way that this is bad. There's no way that this is devil.
Your intuition came forward and was like,
yo,
this is not bad. I'm here and I'm ready to talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah. In
a new way.
I'm a very visual person. I'm a seer. I really am a seer. And in fact, I was at a festival last year, and one of my students was there from the collective, and she introduced me to one of her friends who's also a stone, and she was like, "Oh my God, are you a seer too? Did you know that stone women come from a long line of seers?" And I was like, "What?" But I remember my grandma like having visions, and hearing stories, down the line of these visions, but it was always like the pioneer ancestors, or it was something very like appropriate and Mormon. And my visions were more like, dragons and unicorns and castles and these fantasy lands. Yesterday we did a moon ceremony. in the Sacred Intuition Society, and we were talking about our Venus sequence in human design and the EQ and SQ spheres, or IQ and SEQ spheres. And my IQ is fantasy. That's the shadow. Like I am designed to fantasize. Like that's what I came here to do. That's how I intellectualize. Is like, ooh, what are the possibilities? So as an incredibly visual person, as a child, I had all of these, imaginary friends. And then it was like, but they're just imaginary friends. And I'm kind of like, how many of those were actual real guides?
Right.
And so the Oracle and tarot cards, because they are so rich in symbolism and imagery, they really sparked a lot of things in me. They really ignited and hit me in a way that nothing else really had. So Oracle cards have been around for a long time for me, a little over a dozen years, but tarot is relatively new, like 6-7 years. And it's been really fun when I discovered that the major arcana in tarot was the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, the archetypical, this is all of the myths in our world, all of the stories that you ever hear, even in the Bible and in the Book of Mormon, follow this hero's arc. And so I'm just like piecing all of these things together and making my own decisions of what's good and true for me. Personal revelation. So these daily tune-ins, when we were like, what is the foundation of this intuition society? And obviously it's connecting with your intuition. I truly believe that right now in the world with AI and all the scary shit that could be happening in the world and being manipulated and manufactured, it's hard to know what's true. It's hard to know where to go to find like what is really true. And so the answer really is to go within and find your own truth. And, be open to, see what's going on in the world. Don't stick your head in the sand. I could be better at this. I'm like spiritual bypass. Let me live in my magical fantasy land. I know I could be better at this. Jerry keeps me up to date on some of the news events that are happening, but I don't look very often.
Yeah, I don't watch the news either. It's too much for my little self. No thanks.
Right. So this whole concept of like, what is the core practice of intuition is your own inner guiding system. It knows what you need for your highest good to fulfill your purpose, your path, your dharma here on this planet. And when you're connected to your own intuition, you can look at whatever chaos is happening out here and go, not for me. Maybe I'll look at a couple of these things and, what's over here? And I know what I need to do now. Instead of someone telling you what to do and just kind of being a puppet,
a sheeple,
a slave to the system. And some of these are harsh words, but they're also really true too. Yeah. And if it calls you out, if you feel triggered or if you disagree, comment
and dig deeper.
Let's chat, because what we love. So back to intuition tune-ins and why we chose tune-ins as the daily practice, because intuition is a muscle. Like learning to trust your intuition is a practice. And so we kind of think of the Sacred Intuition Society as like a spiritual CrossFit gym. Yeah. Like you're literally showing up daily to exercise your intuition and learning with other people who are in different phases of their life, different cycles, and even different processes of how they understand their intuition. But we get to come together and learn and share. Like yesterday on the super moon ceremony, there's this sharing that creates the anchoring of the neural networks in the brain of like, I experienced this, now let me share it and articulate it. And so it anchors it in even deeper. And then when other people reflect back to you, it's like, and then it anchors in even deeper.
And it helps your brain recognize patterns too. I'm making a video for a challenge that we're doing this month. Speak it. And it I'm diving into what intuition is, and there's like this mix of automatic knowing but also pattern recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So like seeing what shows up in life for us, those synchronicities, those patterns,
or coincidences, as other people may call them. Oh, what a strange coincidence.
And
nothing happens on accident.
When we're tracking those, when we're writing them down, when we're talking about them with each other, then we're more likely to recognize those patterns and therefore make them more automatic for us, which is the intuitive part.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you're learning something new, it's not all of a sudden intuitive and you know how to do it. You have to, these are the steps first. I follow these steps a lot of times. I watch the patterns that happen within this process, and then it becomes automatic. So yeah, sharing really helps solidify that to like, oh, like you shared about the bees the other day.
Oh,
you shared your bees, and I was like, oh, that's a pattern for me. Bees show up for me too in the world, and what messages are they sharing with Jennie, and how can I be open to those intuitive messages, and how can I share mine so that she may see something she may not have before. So,
yeah, opening up the lens of perspective of what's possible.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful. Thank you. I love the patterns. It's like spiritual instincts.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday on the supermoon call, I guided people through their, that tune in that we just did. And then, we all came to the ceremony with an idea of something we wanted to work on, but I invited them to listen to their intuition. What does your intuition want you to work on? Not what you think you need to do, but actually what is your heart inviting you to do? And as everybody shared, I invited them to articulate how that message came through. One woman felt it. She just felt it in her body. She could explain the somatic, the sensations that happened in her body that was just this feeling. Another woman, Brittany, saw it was like a movie screen in her brain. And then another woman just knew it. She was like, oh, I just know that this is what I need to do. And I touched the nose because our very first course is the guide to the 5. And it's the 5 physical senses in our human physical body that is connected to the extrasensory senses, the clairs, that are our intuition insights. Because we have a physical body, our intuition has to work through what we got. And so it's going to speak to us. And I say speak, and I'm like, I need to find another word. Communicate. I don't know. It's going to connect with us through one or a mixture of these 5 senses. And everyone has a dominant sense. Mine is seeing. I'm very, very visual. And then my second sense is kinesthetic, feeling. So I'll see something and it'll create a feeling in me, and then I'll know. Sometimes I hear messages, and when I talk, I do have the Freak to Genius channel in human design. So when I talk, sometimes shit comes out that I have no idea, and it can sound real freaky, or it can sound really amazing.
People are like, you're so smart.
What? Right? So it was just really fun yesterday to witness that I did the same call-in for everybody. And, there were 3 different ways that people experience their intuition connecting with them. And so really learning to be in a safe way, and then also going, oh, she saw a movie screen. How could I maybe see a movie screen? And because they're muscles, you can flex them, you can practice them. And so for us, that was like our number one. This is the foundation of the Sacred Intuition Society, is practicing, coming together with other people and practicing our intuition. And we just both really love cards. I want to 12
write down flex your intuition, because like that is an amazing phrase. Flex your intuition.
I have like 5 journals here. I got one for business, one for my daily pages, and one for our intuition tune-ins. Because writing is really important. We kind of this is one of the things that we've kind of lost as a society, is because we text or type everything. But yeah, I'm going to totally write that down. I want to know how 12-year-old Brittany found cards, and what was the 12-year-old using cards? Oh my, I can only imagine.
I feel like I lied to you when I said my first deck was Osho Zen, though, because like my first deck was not that, but it was the first one I connected to.
Okay.
And because my mom had that deck. But When I was 12 years old, I went to Barnes and Noble, and I was shopping with a family friend, and they were like, you wanna try tarot? And I was like, yeah, I do. So I got it, and I remember I feel like I hid it from my parents for a couple days, like playing with it, because I mean, I didn't grow up LDS or anything, but still, like, I didn't know. I felt all my friends thought that they were evil, and so like I'm sitting
forbidden
in my room,
fruit,
and playing with these tarot cards. But even before then, when I was in 4th grade, my first experiences were I was seeing spirits. Like I had woken up one night. My first experience was waking up, and there was this lady just sitting in my computer chair, and it scared the hell out of me. And I was like, who are you? And she was like, it's okay. And she's like, I'm Trudy. And I was like, okay, hi. And then I sat and watched her, and she like disappeared. And so I was terrified and didn't sleep much that night, but I had gone to school and told one of my, I didn't have very many friends because I was really weird in school. But I told this girl who we were kind of acquaintances at the time, and she's like, I don't believe you. And she's like, let me come over to your house. So she came over to my house, and we like called in this spirit. And I'm like, I look back now, I'm like
a mini seance? Yeah. At 12 years old.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, well, like maybe slow down when you're that young. But it was really cool because we like called her in. We're like, okay, Trudy, where are you? Like, and so it was her, me, and my little sister Mandy, and we saw this light like go across my whole room, like it just around us, and it knocked down a little thing that was on my shelf. We got scared. We tried to run out of my bedroom. The door was locked, and we're like, ah!
Did you lock it?
I don't know. I didn't lock it myself, but I do question.
Okay.
If one of them locked it, but it was like, what the heck? And we're like trying to get out. And then after that, we just like, we really tried to call in spirits all the time and like have these experiences. And that's, me and her became best friends when we were little, and that's what we spent our time doing. So that was like my first little bite of the spirit realm and like spirituality and stuff. And after that, it was Reiki. My mom learned Reiki. I have a lot of physical health conditions. I was born with spina bifida occulta and the tethered spinal cord. And I just am, and always, I mean, worse pain even when I was little, just like, it was hard to not be able to run around and jump and play with all the other kids. And I had to have surgeries and miss out on holiday things, just being in the hospital. And we tried so many different things to help me. And same thing, like Western medical, just, it wasn't helping me. So my mom turned to Reiki and energy work and started teaching me how to do that. And that changed my life. So I started practicing Reiki at like age 16, 17.
Wow.
And learned again when I got pregnant at age 19. Went more into depth on it, more than what just my mom was teaching me. Learned about all the chakras, energy fields, auras, a lot of emotional work. I remember in the Reiki class, we focused a lot on Brene Brown. And so I've always been interested in people and how they behave. And so that was really interesting to do when I was pregnant, like all these emotions. And I'm like, so I gave my baby lots of love, lots of energy during that time.
Aww.
And then I lost my mom and my sister within a year and a half of each other when I turned 20. A couple months after I turned a month after I turned 20. And 6 months after I had my baby, I lost my mom and to her addictions and to diabetes, and she just had health problems. And a year and a half later, lost my sister to her mental health and her addictions as well. And so, am I going to get emotional here? I might. And then I really struggled. Nothing was coming through to me. I feel like I shut down. But then that's when the missionaries to the LDS church showed up to my ex-in-law's house, and they helped me understand some things according to their religion. And I actually stopped my Reiki practice, my spiritual practice, and did it in a different way and started going to their church. And I was a member of the church. Oh, I can't say it. The LDS church. I'm like, I don't know the whole thing anymore. For several years, from like 2013 until like 2020. And hi, buddy.
Oh, he's all wet. Hop off. Get up. He's all wet from outside.
Yes,
right?
you are. It's raining.
Was Mr. Marty.
But yeah, so I didn't do Reiki for a really long time. And then I got sick of not being who I knew I was. And like just all I can describe it as is like love within me. Like I really was not understanding their values on love in general. And there's a loud plane.
Dude, that sounds like a Black Hawk.
Yeah.
That is loud.
And so then I was like, kind of the same thing, like, how can this be bad? Like that feeling of like, but I feel a certain way about all people. And I know I would never tell someone they can't fly in the air.
Can't see what he's doing over here. But he's just like rolling up on Brittany, like, give me more love. Oh, buddy.
But yeah, I was like, why are they telling people that they can't love who they want to love? I don't understand. And this is not bagging on the religion. Like, this is just my personal journey and what I was seeing and feeling about it. I don't need clarification on any of that. I felt how I felt.
Yeah.
And so I stopped going to church and I dug in even deeper. Like, so from 2020 to now, like I have just all spiritual, like all the time, which I almost went like from this light being, I know, I love
you. You can just push him down. Off, Marty.
Okay, Marty, I'm all done.
All done. Off. He's like, but you? He's like, will you love me? She says no, but what about you?
For real. So I went from this, like, I want to say like I was a Pollyanna before, like, because it was like, oh, light and energy and magic and like everything's fine, mind over matter and all this, to like when I heard that people couldn't love who they wanted to love, I was like, fuck this. And I just like went complete opposite, like darkness matters and like I am angry and I am here to like tell people it's okay to curse people and fuck abusers and fuck like everything. And so I like went really dark with it. And then now, like after meeting you last year, it was just last year, I feel like combining those two, probably right before I met you actually, like just softening a little bit in that darkness and being like, yes, it is okay, but like calm the fuck down. Like, do you really want to like be so intense all the time? I'm like, no, I don't, because that means I feel it all so intense. So now I'm in this like, I have waves. I have 2 different extremes, like in my human design. I can't remember which one it was. My EQ. Anyway, I'm just learning all that, but I do have extremes. I I can be really, really intense, or I can be really, really soft and hold space. And yeah, that's where I'm at now. And we started off with me working for you as your personal assistant in your spiritual business. And then I was like, this is what I want to do too. Do you want to, can we do it together? At least that's how I saw it.
Yeah, it was really fun. We did not meet a year ago though.
No, we didn't meet a year ago.
Do you remember this morning? I was actually thinking about this. I was like, I know we met at a 3 Key Elements event.
So 2014 would probably 2013, 2014.
Was it Royalty and Romance where I stood up and said the really hard thing?
No, it was Master Your Influence.
Master Your Influence.
Yeah.
We were writing our stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said to write your story. And I stood up and had a question. I was like, well, what if I don't want my husband to be part of my story?
Mm-hmm.
Were you there at that one?
I believe that I was. I don't recall all the details, but I remember you and him being there and like, who is that? I need to talk to her.
Yeah, because I remember like that was one of the scariest questions I've asked in my entire life. I was going with my ex-husband. We were married at the time. And I was trying to I was all in this like self-help. Let's figure this shit out. Let's heal our traumas and let's be good together. And dragging my husband with me to try to like help him fix his shit.
As we do,
because that's bless our hearts. And he the Kirk Duncan he was guiding us through writing the story of what we want, how we want our life to look. And I was just like, what if my future story does not include this guy, and he was sitting there and I said this in front of hundreds of people and like the whole audience went, oh, and I was just like, shit, but I knew I had to ask because I knew something wasn't right. And then there was a break in between, he reamed on me for a minute. Like, do you have kids? Then, and just like very standard patriarchal Mormon answer. Like, you stay together for the kids, essentially. And at the time I didn't even have a word for emotional abuse. I had their manipulation, like gaslighting wasn't widely talked about.
Buzzwords.
They were buzzwords then.
I don't feel good in this. Why?
Yeah. And it's always my fault and I'm always the one that's wrong. And no matter, it was just crazy. And so I, was like, oh my God. And I just felt like so embarrassed and horrified. And not only for me, but for my husband at the time, because I put him through, how embarrassing for him and his ego. And I think you came up to me at a water table. And I think that's when we met.
Mm-hmm. And I put your name and phone number in my phone because you were the body image builder at that time.
Yeah.
And you're still in there as that.
The body image builder.
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, a little side story.
That's fun.
I want to share a little bit because it sounds like existential crisis is kind of one of my jams. My life's work. So my top gene key is rebirth. Over and over and over and over again. I will just keep rebirthing myself.
So fun.
It is, because I get to reinvent myself and I get to try different Jennies. How would Jennie be here? How would Jennie be here? How would Jennie want to show up here? Ooh, I don't know. What if I tried this on and use that fantasy, to like, ooh, I can create a fun little fantasy here. But existential crisis is a really interesting concept that I've been really diving into. In fact, the book right here, Existential Kink, is a fantastic book for diving into your existential weird little idiosyncrasies that you have.
I said yes, like I've read it, but I've just heard you talk about it, but I feel like I've read it.
It's amazing. And so I remember when I had just gotten divorced and now I'm on my own for the first time ever, completely independent. Because I went from like living at home to married, right? You just like, the good Mormon girl thing, really young. And so I'm trying to figure out, who is this Jennie? Who is Jennie without a husband? Who is Jennie without a religion? Who is Jennie just on my own? And I remember us talking to a friend at the time who was still in church. And I was just like, I don't even know if Jesus is real. And Jesus was my homeboy. Like, I had visions. In fact, I got in trouble for sharing one of my visions where I met Jesus. I met God and Father God and Mother God. I saw Jesus and my grandma. And I shared this in testimony meeting in Relief Society. So in a smaller container, not like at the pulpit.
With all the women.
Just with all the women. Like, I had learned this really beautiful way to pray. And I saw God and Mother God and Jesus, and I got in trouble. I got pulled into the bishop's office. Was like, well, you really, and I was like, what in the world? The spiritual, personal revelation. It wasn't like me saying, hey, Cindy, you need to, God told me that you need to, like,
Yeah.
It was me. It was all for me. So I was just like, ugh.
But like side note,
Go.
like, it's common for it's patriarchal, like very dominant religion.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the oh my God, what's the
priesthood?
Word? The priesthood. Thank you.
The proper authority.
Yeah, you didn't have the proper authority of the priesthood to be able to channel those messages. So you got in trouble.
So, and this is like, I don't want to rag on the church. I have come full circle, but I did swing the pendulum the opposite way for a minute.
Yeah.
And I was in existential crisis. Is God even real? Is Jesus even real? I mean, I did some research. I didn't read any anti-Mormon literature because I don't need to. Like, I have my own relationship with, the Book of Mormon and that whole prophecy. And I've heard all of the stories, and I use my own intuition and go, okay, do I need to focus on that? And my intuition said, don't even worry about that.
Yeah.
Mine was the bigger things. Is God real?
Yeah.
Is Jesus real? Is he really the savior? And as I was diving into Jesus, I started finding all these other archetypical savior stories in the past, up to like 3,500 years previous to when Jesus allegedly lived on the earth. And I say allegedly because at the time, I have done the research, at the time of his existence, there were only 4 known historians. And only one of them actually documented Jesus as a figure in that historical time. So 3 didn't ever even mention him. And the one that did mention him, kind of did some weird shit and wasn't known to be super... accurate. There's a believable. There's a word that's not coming to me. Anyway, so I was just like, oh my God, is he even real? And just feeling this weird, but there's Mithra, there's Krishna, there's Osiris, there's the exact same stories. Virgin Mother died and came back 3 days later, raised the dead back to life, turned water to wine, like these same exact stories that I thought only belonged to Jesus. All these other archetypical, 32, there's 32 different deities across history and culture that have the exact same story as Jesus.
But you still believe in Jesus, right? Like,
I do now. Yeah. But for a minute I was like, I don't know, is he even real? Mm-hmm. So I was like having this massive existential crisis. My hair's driving me crazy. I feel something on my forehead.
Human moments.
And so I was talking to this woman about it and sharing all of, this and then this and then this and all of these things. And she goes, but she's like, it's kind of like an archetype. And I hadn't up to that point used the word archetype. I'm just like, but there's Krishna, there's Mithra, there's Osiris, there's, those are the only ones I can really remember right now. So I'm just listing the same 3, but I know there's more. So she brought the word archetype to me. She was like, oh, so it's like an archetype for you. And the word archetype just clunked inside of me. Mm-hmm. And I knew that was like, ding, I just knew that's it. This archetype has something very powerful. And that's when I really started diving deeper into archetypes, because from a very young age, I loved philosophy. I loved mythology. I loved reading these, different stories from different cultures and pretending I was the characters, living them out. And when she said archetype, Joseph Campbell's archetypical hero's journey showed up in my brain. The Greek myths showed up. I was just like, oh my God, yes. And then it started just all of these different parts and pieces that I've been studying over the last 2 decades of my life, like put my life's work studying, trying to figure out the truth. Of what is true, because my journey through the church, of leaving the church, took me about 2 decades total. I was like, archetypes. And then I knew about the human design and Gene Keys, and I was like, oh my goddess, the shadow is like our body, right? My mind is the gift, and my spirit is the city. And then there's hell. And then there's heaven, like the celestial, telestial, terrestrial, like the 3 degrees of glory: body, mind, spirit, heaven, hell, and the other one, the middle one, Midgard. But in the Mormon church, there's like celestial, telestial, terrestrial, and I forget which one goes where. But I was just like, oh my God. And then it was like, okay, archetype, save your archetype. Like I read Carolyn Miss's Sacred Contracts, and I cast my wheel of my sacred archetypes, and the Savior is one of the archetypes that shows up for a lot of people. I have a savior complex, y'all. I think I need to save everybody. So, and I was just like, wait, and I'm like rereading into some of the things that I learned in Sunday school and seminary and church. And I remember reading in the Bible and Book of Mormon about, come follow me, come follow me. I did it. You can do it too. And he didn't say worship me. He's like, come on, guys. I did this. Come on, you can do this too. And it was like, I have to atone I have to save myself. I'm my own savior. And as we're coming into the age of Aquarius, if you look at the religions throughout the eons, they've all gone through their zodiacal.
I don't even know.
Zodiacal. That's a
zodiacal.
The zodiacal. So like Moses, he was moving out of Taurus and into the Piscean age, because they worshipped the golden calf, right? And then Jesus came and he entered the Piscean age. The fish metaphors and the flow and all of the water, and even the sacrament is water. He walked on water. Like there's like so many water things. He entered in the Piscean age. Now we're starting to step into the age of Aquarius. And
tell me more about this. Okay, because this is all new to me.
Oh, really?
I didn't know.
You haven't heard of this?
No.
Okay, cool. So watch the Zeitgeist. That would be a fun resource to watch. Don't watch the ones on like 9/11 and like the banking corporations and stuff. It's really depressing for me. And like, I don't know, some of that stuff's a little too far out there for me. And that's okay. But, it's not everything's for everybody. But the part about the zodiacs really blew me away. In fact, even the whole concept of the Virgin Mary is Venus. Mm-hmm. And there's every December, the Virgin, the Venus is, rises and gives birth to the sun, because there's a couple of days where the sun is dark in the December, what is it, the solstice? Solstice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The winter solstice, it's dark. And so there's, we're in darkness, and then the Virgin gives birth to light, to the sun. So there's a lot of like astrological metaphors. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, is Jesus real, or was this all just made up? A made up story.
Stars.
Right?
Just someone watching the sky. Okay.
So
Aquarius.
So yeah, watch the Zeitgeist. And it talks a lot about this. So the age of Aquarius is, and I'm a sun, Aquarius sun. So I'm like, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's my age, guys. Aquarius is an air sign, where Pisces was water, flow, and air is mental. It is mentality. It is intellect. It is thinking. It is thoughts. And it is everywhere. It is infinite. And so Aquarius age is learning how to think for yourself, save your own damn self. Like, we don't need a savior. In fact, there's a line in Dune, the second one that just came out, where, what's her name? Zendaya.
Oh, Zendaya.
Zendaya. She says, tell people that someone is coming to save them, and it is the easiest way to make them a slave. Something along those lines. And I remember sitting in the theater and like, I turned around. I wanted to see people's reactions to that. Like, holy shit, who's here waiting for a savior? You know? Yeah. It was just so huge for me because I had already had that personal awareness that I have to save myself. Like, I can't wait for, the end of like my life and just hope that I did good enough and I followed the checklists and I was good enough to receive mercy and compassion. And of course, I know there's like work to be done, but it was like my eternal salvation, it depends on somebody else's opinion of me. And that felt really gross. And so when I started to question a lot of these things and the archetypes and the collective archetypes that exist in our mind, I was like, I am my own savior. I've got to save myself. And as me coming out of my shadow, my natural inherent natural man, it's not the enemy, because like what I really love about Richard Rudd work, the books, I'm like, where's his books? They're currently holding the microphone up. But I do have his like compendiums for like the highly recommend these if you're into the gene keys. What I really love about what he says about the gene keys is that the seed, he compares the shadow to a seed, the gift to the plant, and the city is the fruit. And so everything, the fruit, the plant, everything that is part of you comes from that seed, comes from the shadow, comes from the dark part of you. So this whole like stepping into the darkness, I was like, no. I'm going to spiritual bypass. I'm just going to shine a light and, sprinkle the fancy unicorn glitter on everything and call it good. And it's okay. And it's okay. Spiritual bypassing.
Toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity. And when I learned about these archetypes and that they're within me and that I have my own unique map, gene keys, I could look at my shadows and go, okay, within the shadow holds the gift and my city, my highest expression. And it is up to me to find those, to express those, to allow those to open up. And so it's been a really beautiful journey. And it's been really fun to like, actually, this last 2 years, I have felt really safe. And I've had a couple of friends come into my life that are really comfortable in the dark spaces.
Yes.
And my daughter, Deb, she's Scorpio moon. So she's super dark. Hey, love. And
speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil. I know. My husband, you guys, he's such the bad boy. He's
going into the darkness again.
He is, yeah. He's done a darkness retreat. And
wait, you're doing what? Okay.
He's doing a Vipassana. He's doing another Vipassana, so silent retreat.
Can I want to go?
It's another form of Vipassana, but it's another form of
come by if you're gonna talk, come talk.
Because I want to. Ever since we went to Yin on Fire, I wanted to talk to you about a silent retreat.
This is Jerry.
Hi, everybody.
This is my husband, Jerry. My husband, my mister.
Yeah, so a silent retreat. Silence is beautiful. Like most of us are afraid of it.
Yeah, me too. Actually.
Oh, I'm terrified.
We talk a shit ton.
So fun. But yeah, in the silence, when you can actually get the silence, you have those DMT dumps and you get visions of past lives and magic happens. And there's a lot of work that goes into that, but that's the reward. And so, yeah, I get to go at the end of November again for another little journey.
Yeah, over Thanksgiving, it's not our year for kids this year. And so we thought, that would be kind of fun to do a silent retreat together. And then when it came time to like register, I was like, like, because I know, like, he told me the stories of last time. And I was just like, can I sit there and listen to him crying and not move? Not go hug him.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to do it with my partner. Yeah.
And so, but I did. I went and registered, but I am on a wait list. And so it's like literally up to God now.
And
it's in God's hands.
And one of the most beautiful things about the Vipassana is exactly that, what you guys are talking about, is the energy that we have and that we hold. And so when you're in silence and you're with yourself, it's not like you're not with them. Like right there, there's probably like 50 people in the room that we meditate with, and energetically, you're with them all.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really stepping into that spirit body and not this, right? Like stepping into this spirit body and actually owning it and actually learning how to move and work in that world, which we're truly designed for.
Yeah. Speaking of dark, I'm going to be doing a podcast with my love here because I talk about polar opposites too. I am like the sunshine.
I got the moon and the sun on
Look
my
at
hands. They're like,
I am the
the
moon.
sun is here, the moon is here. Synchronicities.
Oh, universe.
I know this man who has died multiple times in this lifetime. He's a paranormal investigator, and I'm terrified of ghosts. I've seen multiple, like you shared your ghost story. And I was like, when those happened to me as a child, I was like, I'm not talking about it because that was not real because I'm not connected to the devil.
I'm out.
And then he's really helped me not be so afraid of like that and helped me see how it's actually the same. But yeah, the darkness, the last couple of years, like it's the feminine. The dark is the feminine. It's the yin energy. It's the womb. It's the void of creation where everything started. And that's where I feel like Christianity kind of messes up because they're just like all about the sun, all about the sun, all about the sun. And it's like, okay, but what about the mother? You know, where's
that's where I have a lot of my healing to do is with the mother. And
Yeah,
like you too, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about that. Like
I discovered that in the darkness and in a sweat lodge in Tulum, Mexico. And I found out that's my medicine. That darkness, that womb space. I didn't get that healing space when I was in the womb. I was trying to survive, I think, as a infant. What was that?
Embryo and then fetus.
Fetus. That's the word.
Yeah, fetus.
Well, there's a word.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't get to experience that, and so now that's why I challenge myself and I go into these, the darkness retreats and these vipassanas. It's because it puts me back in that space so I can heal those wounds that I didn't know were present until I started this work. And then it's like, man, it's deep. It goes
It goes back to my mom. Yep.
In the womb.
In the womb.
But probably
Beyond.
even like when we can even go, because you were technically in your grandma's womb.
Yeah.
As an egg in your mom's body.
Let's not blow everybody's minds right now.
It's just science. That's just legit, straight up facts.
Right.
But I mean, to think that the thing that could blow the minds is the idea that that energy that was happening with your grandma when she was growing your mom in her belly affects you because your eggs were made in that energy. And then not to mention what was happening during your physical fetal development in your mom's womb. And that's one thing that's cool about the gene keys is they break it down into like trimesters and years of development, stuff like that. So well, this is fun that we've got a Jerry here.
Yeah, awesome. I was like, I don't even remember where we were going with all this, but this has been a real ADHD fun thing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's ADHD fun.
Yeah.
So I will let you guys get back to it.
Yeah, love you.
And love you both. You guys are both amazing. And just keep healing, everybody. We love you.
Okay, so should we guide them? Should we do like a little tune in?
Yeah, let's do
kind of show them what it's
I
like.
brought my cards, but they're in my car. I knew I should have brought them in. I should have listened. That's okay.
See, this is one of the things we talk about in those tune-ins is those like, and when you track these, like, what was the ping that you had in the car?
It was, you should bring those. That was, I heard it. I heard it. Like, you should bring those. And I went, but we're doing a podcast. and so I fought it.
Funny.
And I was like, nah, not going to listen to you today.
Not going to listen to you today. So this articulation is really, really powerful for understanding your intuition. So
I yawn. People might think that I'm bored when I yawn. I don't know why I need to call it out right now.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Energetically, when I yawn, and I think Jenny does it too, yawning is moving energy. It's stuck energy that needs to move. And so when I'm doing energy work, when I'm tapped in.
And not just yawning, burping, crying, ears popping,
farting.
That's all.
Any functions that your body does.
Mm-hmm. Ears popping, ears ringing. Yeah. So it's just it's your body's way of moving that, shifting that energy. And our bodies are not wrong. Our bodies that's one thing that's been so hard about this spiritual journey for me, I think, is because I'm so physically connected to my body. And then I also inherently feel like it's wrong. Mm-hmm. And I've tried to ignore it. Yeah. And that's where I just really love the Sacred Intuition Society is this like, hey, no, your actual spirit needs you. You cannot your spirit can't function in the world without a body. Yeah.
And I've been dealing with ear stuff lately. Like my head feels like that underwater, wah, wah, wah lately. And so, but the messages I'm getting are all hearing. I'm hearing and seeing. So up in the head, up in the mind. And so, and I keep saying, well, maybe I'm getting sick, but I'm not fucking getting sick. I just need to listen to my intuition when it tells me to bring my tarot cards in.
I love it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we already did the drop-in, so let's just maybe take a moment because we've had a whole bunch of random rabbit holes that we've just been jumping in and out of.
How you feeling? How do you feel?
Yeah. How you feeling right now? And what is your intention? What do you want to know from this reading that we're going to be doing here? And we invite you to write it in the chat. So with all of our 0 listeners right now.
Thanks, guys.
0 is a powerful number. It's the void. You got to start somewhere. We're starting at 0. We can only go up from here.
My ears are itching.
Ooh, look at that. So if you're watching this, it doesn't matter when you're watching this, but type in the chat what your intention is, because this part of the Sacred Intuition Society, there's a couple of guidelines and invitations that we hold for you. Number 1, have your camera on. We're practicing feeling safe, being seen in our intuition, feeling our emotions. Our society has taught us that don't put anybody out. Don't make a scene, say behind doors, do it by yourself. And then you never do, right? Now is not the time to cry. Now is not the time to cry. I'll cry at home. And then you don't. You go home and you distract yourself. You avoid. And then you fill with, TV, food, sex, and Instagram, social media, any addiction to keep you from actually feeling the emotion that your body needs to fucking process. And so it's a safe space to share and be seen in your emotion, in your intuitive process, because intuition is inherently emotional. It speaks through our physical emotions.
Yeah. And being vulnerable, being seen, I just want to speak to that for a second, because work meetings, even after 2020, I would turn off my camera. I didn't want to be seen. But then it was after joining the Dharma Artist Collective with Eric Godsey, he's like, if you don't have your camera on, why the fuck are you here? Why are you not showing up in your authenticity? And it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so, we do encourage people to show up, put your face to your words, because that's going to make you who you are. How many internet trolls are there out there that are just keyboard, what do they call them? Keyboard warriors or some shit like that. I don't know. It's you can be someone else if you know you're not being watched. But when you know you're being watched, you're showing up more authentically, because it's what do I want to do? How do I want to show up in this space? And it's almost an intention to be seen.
Yeah. Okay, so hand on your heart. Just take a couple of deep breaths here. Let go of the thoughts. Let go of the ideas. Let go of the shoulds, what you think you need. And instead ask your heart what it wants to know. And then we invite you to type that in the chat. own it, claim it. There's something very powerful about writing it down and having it seen and admitting it. It's like making it real and putting it into matter, into this material realm, because it will only become matter when it matters to you. So the first part of matter is writing down the ideas, taking the ideas that are ethereal and putting them on paper. And now it's matter, and it will start to grow. That matter will start to grow. This is manifestation.
And your brain sees it as an unfinished task.
Woo! Yeah. Okay, so first we're going to pull, let's see, do we have an intention? Do you have an idea of, my own thought is that
that they'll have an intention and we'll pull the cards and it'll be what it is.
That's true. Like,
what are the when I don't know what to ask, I default to what are the messages that I need to hear right now?
For my highest good.
Because that can go throughout time and eternity. Like that question is timeless.
Okay. I'm thinking, what do we need to know about this podcast?
Ooh, let's do it.
How's that feel?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you're supposed to pull.
Okay. I will move the mic and I will also pull.
This is my favorite, no lie, my favorite tarot deck. Affirmators Tarot. It's kitschy, it's cheeky, it's short, it's simple. This is the guidebook. Just itsy bitsy. I love it. Okay. Upright?
Yep, upright.
We pulled the 9 of Pentacles.
He's so cute with those little top hats.
Yes. So now what we do in the tune-in is we invite you, we give about 5 minutes to journal without looking up what 9 of Pentacles means. What do you see here? What are the images telling you? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you know? What do you want to say? And just intuitively go with this. And this is where this deck, I think, kind of falls a little short because the imagery is not very traditional. It's a little cartoony and fun, but that's why I like it.
This is why I should have brought my deck.
There's not a lot of symbolism in here to play with, but just 9 of Pentacles.
So this is a good one to practice then. What do I know?
What do I know about 9 of Pentacles? So for me, I'll go first because I'm a little newer to tarot, and then you can fill in the gaps. But 9 in numerology is the ending of a cycle. So it's a completion of something. Pentacles is earth energy, earth element, and it's abundance, it's prosperity. They look like little gold coins, right? And so there's a completion cycle of celebrating the abundance of what you have completed, what is coming to you. I mean, it looks like he's just dancing and playing, to me, dancing and playing with all of the coins that are just raining. Make it rain, baby! You know, raining money. It's raining coins. Hallelujah. Yeah, the top hat denotes a little like there was some serious business happening, but he's celebrating. Maybe it's New Year's party or something. It's the end of a cycle. New Year's, yeah, just finished. So that's what I'm getting. For me, what does that mean in podcast?
What does it mean? What does it mean for in podcast to you? What does your intuition tell you? Okay, so personally, for the last 2 fucking decades, last 20 fucking years, have been trying so hard to create a community of like-minded people that like can be weird with me. That can like jump on these rabbit hole trains with me and follow me and come back and be like, yeah, that's a normal thing to talk about. Unicorns, dragons, cool. Like let's talk about weird shit. And I feel like the celebration for me, I've always been wanting to do a podcast. I've done it multiple different times, multiple different ways, multiple different formats. I've been part of a professional one where I played a character and I read a script. Like I was Julia Stone for the Reclaimers podcast. It's a really good one. Shout out to the Reclaimers podcast. Really beautiful. I did a couple of my own with the studio on my own. I did one for Yin on Fire, this healing festival here in Utah. And I've just always wanted to do my very own that's like long form,
real raw. Let's get weird together. I want to go in deep off these weird rabbit holes. And so this to me is like celebrating that, like the end of the cycle of trying is done and it's here. Like I get to celebrate the success of this society. The Sacred Intuition Society is here. It's like, and it's like we've got members that are showing up for the daily tune-ins. We had people show up for the moon ceremony yesterday. Like, and I don't have to do it alone. I've got someone to help me. There's the like everything I've been trying to create for the last 2 decades, like has happened in the last week.
Right?
Okay.
I love that. And I think that
go ahead. I have to pee.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna like, well, you interpret yours, but I want to hear your interpretation, but I have to pee.
Okay. How about I interpret and then we end this and then we can both pee and eat and stuff because I'm getting hungry.
Okay, cool.
Can you hold it that long?
I can.
Okay. So I think you were right. I think that 9 in tarot too is the end of a cycle. It's almost 10, which is ending a chapter and beginning something new. 9 would be like, you now have all of the information that you've been gathering the whole time. You have all of, you know how to go forward and duplicate this and make this again if you wanted to. Like 9 is like reveling in all of the abundance that you've got. And you're like, okay, I'm going to sit here in the 9 for a bit before I close out and I'm going to celebrate this. And whoa, you're so rich. And and I was trying to think of what elephant meant to me because you didn't even talk about elephant.
I didn't even talk about elephant energy.
And to me, I was like, okay, elephants are really wise. They remember things. They're very emotional.
Nurturing.
Yeah.
They're very communal based animals.
Yeah. Like, they're almost human-like in their weird beastly bodies. Like they're big, huge energy. I love this. Can I keep going on this thread with you for a moment? They are big, massive, and can cause a lot of damage, but they are gentle and kind. I mean, they can pick you up, but if they need
to, they will.
Yeah.
And then I also think of the Hindu deity Ganesha, the elephant-headed goddess.
Yep.
Ganesha, who is one of my favorites. Is he on my altar right now? He is not close by, but he is known as the remover of obstacles. He paves the way. And he is playful and fun and lighthearted. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Another, see, this is why we do the tune-ins, because I'll get some things that trigger things in other people, and other people will get things that trigger stuff in us. Mm-hmm. And so it helps us grow our own intuition and our own inner knowing.
Yeah. So yeah, he's playing. He's having a grand old time in all of the abundance that he has acquired through this process. So same thing. I have attempted a podcast with multiple different people. It never went anywhere. And I thought today wasn't going to go anywhere either, because the processes that I followed for a podcast before, like, okay, we sit down, we write intros, like the whole time. And so we got here and you're like, are you ready? We're live. And I was like, oh, okay.
Fuck the rules.
Exactly. And so, it's everything that I've wanted to. Like, it's done. Our first podcast is already fucking done. Our first paycheck from our business that we created together just hit. Like, that's so good. So good.
We get paid to like hang out with cool people.
Right? And so I like want to sit in that and I want to feel this, and like that's what 9 of Pentacles is saying to me. Do you want to read what the book says?
Okay, and I would love for you guys to share what you get from 9 of Pentacles as well.
Yeah, so like pause and type what you get before you listen to this next part.
Yeah. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. This belle of the prosperity ball has invited you to the party of the year, and the theme is relief. No matter what monetary challenges you've come through, she's telling you the other side is here or near. Please take a moment to cheer or sigh or light a few crates of fireworks. The next part of your story is all about a stable home life and financial independence. Fuck yeah. Not to mention the freedom, confidence, and potential that are sure to come trotting along behind. Okay, I receive.
Thank you.
Reflect on the hard work that's gotten you here and indulge in a splurge of sorts.
Yes, indulging.
How much do helipads cost? And then the affirmation. I finally trade my surviving for thriving and put the dance in abundance. Now, excuse me while I jump up and down and joy scream for a few hours.
I love that. Yes. So, like, really, like sitting in the abundance, sitting in what has come in. Oh, it feels so good. Thank you.
Yes. And then we invite you to take more time journaling your thoughts after reading. What does that mean for you? All like literally we do what's called like a brain dump. And it's just stream of conscious writing. And there are 30 years of scientific evidence, proof that they've studied this specific type of writing. And we teach this in the Intuition Society. There is a course on this coming. It's in the process. It's coming.
It's not been published yet.
Yeah, but we do talk about it in all of our tune-ins, so you get to practice it. But there's this stream of conscious writing where you just literally take whatever thoughts are happening and put it on page. And it clears the mental clutter so you can be a more clear channel for what your heart is trying to say. Because there's not all this shit in the way. And so saying all of the things, and nobody looks at this. Nobody is supposed to look at this. No one else is going to read this. And so it's a safe place to write all of the weird, creepy, dark, like, oh man, have anybody read some of the shit that was in here?
They'd lock me away.
Right?
Forever.
But that's like the cool thing. I don't have to hold it and feel shame. Now I can put it on paper and it's out. So write all of the judgments, good, bad, right, wrong, completely crazy, fake, has no like perceived connection. Like, why is this story coming to me right now? Write it down. And it may show up later and make sense later, but just trusting the process is really powerful. So,
because when we clear out what is in our conscious mind, then our subconscious or our intuition can step forward and help lead. And that is a beautiful process.
Yeah, there's less shit that it has to go through to actually hit you where you need it. So
intuition is automatic.
Yeah, so powerful. So that's kind of what our daily tune-ins are like. And then we share stories back and forth. We share what symbolism you saw, what was the hit for you, how did it connect to your intention that you set, because everybody sets their own intentions. And then we invite you to maybe draw some more cards and journal a little bit more. So this is like our daily practice that you can come join us in the SIS. And then we do monthly classes, like we did a moon ceremony. We're going to be going next year all through the full moons. We're going to go through the Gene Keys sequence. So I'm going to teach you about your own personal blueprint, which works with human design. So we're going to spend a year working on that.
So excited.
It is so fun.
Because I want to learn more about that.
Yeah, it's just like, it's your design. It's like your blueprint of how you came, how you are in this 3D world, as well as showing your 5D potential and everything in between. And it just is, when you know the system, it was a life changer for me. And I would love to have my beautiful, favorite, most amazing teacher, Brianna, on the podcast to talk more about it, because she's genius at what she does. And Marty wanted to come say goodbye.
And then I'm doing a dream decoding this next week, where people bring their dreams to decode. I do not interpret in the way that Google does.
No.
I don't like. When you see, bees are coming to my mind again. When you see a bee in your dream, this is what a bee means. No, that is not how I do it. It's personalized and it's all about you. So if you want to get real vulnerable and know what your dreams mean, then yeah, the dream decoding one's going to be super fun. And then we're doing a Q&A.
We do Q&A every month.
On the 29th, which is a Tuesday. I thought it was a Monday at first, but I'm a day off. So
the Q&As are it's basically literally ask us anything. It doesn't even have to be intuition based. Like, how about my relationship with Jerry, or Brittany's relationship with her body, or our working relationship, or our relationship to religion or parents, or
what's the first thing you do when you get up?
Yeah. Like, why do you love a bidet so much, Jenny? Like,
I knew you were going to say something about going to the bathroom when I asked that question. I was like, she's going to say some shit about shit, or.
Yeah. Or like, how do you use a diva cup when you're at a festival at a porta potty?
Do you bedazzle?
We talked about doing a bedazzled diva cup for our Sacred Intuition Society logo.
For a piece of art to showcase.
Bedazzled diva cup. So
too much.
But literally ask us anything. And then there's the thing that's really fun about the platform that we're on, that the Sacred Intuition Society is on, is School, SKOOL. It's an app. It's very similar to like Facebook, where there's community forums. There's a classroom with classes and courses that you can, some just come with being a member, and then others you have to earn by unlocking, and you earn that by like
getting likes, by
there's a word, contributing to the community. Sharing your stories, commenting and supporting other people's stuff, sharing your art, fun stuff. So contributing, you earn points and you get to unlock these courses. And eventually one of the courses is you're going to learn how to be a healer, a guide. Like, do this as a business like we did. We are tracking every step and process that we do to create this community, the standard operating procedures, like literally how to set up a website, how to link it to a CRM, how to market and advertise. Like, literally we're creating the process, the map, so that when someone earns that certain place and they want to, we can teach them how to create their own community and have their own clients and to use their intuition, their spiritual gifts, and make money from it, because why not?
How to use your intuition on creating an intuitive business.
Yeah, so awesome. So there's a lot coming. We're in the we're still kind of embryo stages, I think, a little bit. And also we are a baby. We've been birthed because it's live. It's happening.
Yeah, and people are participating.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
It is.
But also, so there's a leaderboard. It's very gamified, which I really appreciate, because I'm like, oh my God, yeah, how do I get more points? And it's growing. The game is, instead of the game consuming you, going on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok and just consume and feel comparison and fear and resentment. And like, one of the things I love about Eric Godsey that he always says is, you like just go masturbate into your self-loathing. Like, you're just like, oh, fuck these people. Who do they think they are? And you're just like, because there's a part of you that knows you're supposed to be doing that, and so it's like this wake-up call. So instead of being consumed by this community and losing points because they're trying to sell you.
They've got their highlight reels.
Yeah, they're trying to keep you captured for as long as possible. And where our community is like serving you, it grows you in another way. So it's a win community. So in there's a leaderboard, and we take the top 3 members for the month that are contributing the most, because they've got the most points that month, and we are gonna, roll a dice, pull a card.
We're gonna do something cool,
and at least one person is going to get a chance to get a personal reading from us, personal dream decoding. We can check relationships, their elements, their chakras, their aura. We can do human design, gene keys, astrology.
Maybe they get to go to lunch with us. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not promising that. I just said it.
We're just kind of, we're rolling with it. Maybe you'll
comment what you would love to do.
Yeah.
Like that would be fun.
Be on our podcast,
Yeah.
Would be super fun. But you get something special because you're contributing. And so there's like an extra incentive to go and be part of the community, because you get that like private one-on-one life in the community, in a safe space. So, yeah, I feel like
I feel complete
I feel
now.
really complete, and I really got to pee.
Yeah. I just got tired. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Cool.
So sacredintuitionsociety.com, you can go and sign up for our newsletter, and we've got a freebie. What's the freebie?
What they get, Brittany? They get Jennie's manifesting meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And they also get a video of the daily tune-in as well that I led. So we got a gift from each of us that they get to watch. You don't have to be a part of the school community, the SIS, in that way. That's just like, this is what we do within the SIS. So completely free for you to experience.
Yeah. We are looking for more teachers that would like to come and participate, that are already really connected to their spiritual gifts, their intuition, and they have an offering that they would like to share and be a part of our community. And we're working on how we create that a beautiful win-win. But we need you here so we can talk about it, because we don't want to make the rules. We want to bring everybody's energy in. We do everything that we do in this container, in the SISterhood, is very much intuition led. We don't just, I think that'll be a good idea. And we'll even catch, you said think. So that's maybe, what feels right?
Feel? Yeah.
What is that? Was that an inspired idea, or was that your mind? And we talk about it. And because we're still practicing living this, this is a lifelong practice. It's not I got it done. Like I showered. You got to do that every fucking day. Well, I don't shower every day, but brush your teeth maybe.
Yeah. That you do every day.
You do want to brush your teeth every day. So we would love that. We're open. If money is an issue, please talk to us, because we're not doing this for the money. Yes, we love the money. We will receive the money, and we're going to play with the money. And a portion of the proceeds are going to be donated to charity that we're working on, connecting with right now. So that's going to be really exciting. And, we want to work with you. And there's ways that if the monthly membership fee is not feasible for you right now, let's talk. Don't let money get in the way. There's ways that we can work this through.
Yeah, there's other energetic currencies that we can deal with.
We are 100% cool with. So we just have to talk, though.
Like I want lashes.
Ooh, I would love lashes. Yes, please. So, and then there's some things that we would love, accounting help, marketing help, some technical stuff, back-endy technical stuff that we can do. We would rather not. But if you love that, like we said, we want it to be a win-win. What are your gifts?
What's your dharma? What were you meant to do in this life, and how can it contribute? Like if you love spreadsheets and that is your calling, but you're like, that's not going to help their intuitive business. Yes, it fucking will.
It fucking will so much. Please share your intuitive spreadsheet love with us. Because I feel like I'm in prison in all those cells. I'm like, I want to work with these. And if you don't ask, the answer is no.
Yep.
So you might as well ask. And we'll tune in, and we'll ask our hearts, and we'll ask Sis, because she is an entity, the overlighting entity that we connect with here, because she's been birthed into this world, and now she has her own life, and it's not up to us to control how she goes. We want her to dictate how she wants to be expressed and experienced in this world, on her as her own thing. And so think of, I had this as you were talking. I had this really cool image, like Gilligan's Island, and we're creating our own little community. And like, what would you bring to the community? Can you bring food? Can you bring breath work? Can you bring yoga? Can you bring medicine? Can you bring spreadsheets, accounting, marketing, sales,
podcast editing.
Fuck yeah. I mean, we're just gonna go raw.
So funny. You're like Gilligan's Island, and I'm like zombie apocalypse.
Ooh, that one's fun
what
too.
What can you bring to the
The new community, post-apocalyptic, when everything's gone fucking crazy? We're gonna create our own little community here. And how do you contribute? Because we want you to feel part of the process. It's not a like, oh, I'm just here. We want you involved. And same with the teachers. We're not looking for teachers to come and teach a class and leave. We want someone who wants to be part of the community and involved with everything, sharing their courses, their offerings. And it's
encouraging others to do that too.
Yes.
Like, really, I think that is important to say, like, yeah, if you want to teach something and contribute, you're not there for
just promotion.
Promotion, thanks. Yeah, that was the word.
Self-promotion is not, we don't want that.
No.
We do want you to self-promote very much as just showing up and being you. And this is how I am. This is how I contribute. Like, I still come to the daily tune-ins as a student. Brittany comes to the manifesting meditations as a student. She came to the supermoon ceremony as a student. Like, we are not like, we're
not above anybody else just because we're the owners of it. Like, we will always be students to our mastery, to what we're learning. And that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Brittany calls me out all the time. And I call her out, like, listen, we're both learning together. Neither of us know what we're doing. And we also know what we're doing.
Yeah.
You've been started since you were 12. I've been going for the last 20 years. Like,
but you don't know shit, Britt.
Right. But you do. Share what you do and show up for what you don't and be open to that. So it's really beautiful. Okay. I really got to pee now. And 90 minutes. I'm impressed. That's kind of what I thought. Good. And I wanted to share this. So this little fun thing that showed up, these are my bills from the different currencies, different places that I've been, Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica. And this is one of my favorites, Bali. I mean, $100,000 bill. I mean, it's not dollar. I know it's not that. It's IDR, Indonesian rupees. Fuck, I don't know. Rupiah. Yeah. But I like, oh my gosh, holding $100,000 bill. I mean, talk about money changing. It's super fun. So I put this on my altars often. I know there's lots of hundreds. There's some thousands. Yeah. Oh, this one's fun. This one's 20 mil.
Woo!
Oh, and look how pretty that is with the hummingbird. Money is so amazing. It's so beautiful. And from other countries.
Yeah.
Other countries' money.
That was fun.
Right? Yeah. Okay. There's the 9 of Pentacles, fun money experience. So, okay. We're going to end now. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.